Have you ever felt like during exam season, you've left all of your studying to the last minute from procrastination, but no matter how much you cram, the information just doesn't stick to your brain? Yeah, we've all been there, and I'm guilty as charged. But what if I told you there's actually a simple evidence-based self-management strategy that not only boosts your memory, but actually reduces your stress, improves your self-confidence, and strengthens all aspects of your psychological well-being? And the best part yet, this is something that you may have done before in your academic career, so you're not entirely a stranger to this learning concept. Hi, my name's Jessica, and today we're going to dive into a detailed analysis of one of the most powerful tools discussed in The Rubber Brain by Sue Morris, testing yourself and spaced repetition learning. So what exactly does testing yourself encompass? Testing yourself is essentially exactly what it sounds like, just quizzing yourself on concepts that you've learned. But here's the thing that most people don't know. It's not about checking what you don't know, it's actually about strengthening what you do know. Moreover, what does spaced repetition learning entail? This strategy is about reviewing content material over consistent time periods instead of cramming all the knowledge the night before an exam. With both strategies combined together for studying, these tools allow for students to facilitate effective study practices and ultimately increase student self-management and psychological well-being. As Morris states in Chapter 7 of The Rubber Brain, that these strategies strengthen one's memory network that support both the consolidation of long-term memories and the retrieval of memories in different contexts. You may find it hard to believe that these study strategies are proven to be far more effective than the ones you currently use, such as highlighting. But Morris et al. Reinforces in Chapter 7 of The Rubber Brain that spacing out study over time has been found to lead to longer lasting memory of that material, rather than undertaking the same number of hours of study in a single block just prior to the exam. Whereas with highlighting, it does not involve enough effort in actually learning the material and usually performed once, producing surface level learning and gives you false reassurance that you've spent sufficient time on that task. By adopting these study strategies into your regime, students can start to see the cognitive and emotional benefits that come with it, which includes reducing stress, enhancing academic performance, and improving their mental well-being, which all contribute to a more positive and fulfilling learning experience and fosters a sense of accomplishment and control. Now that we have a better understanding of these self-management strategies, let's delve deeper into the science of how these strategies actually work. Donlowski's study findings convey that practice testing and distributed practice receive the highest utility assessment scores because they benefit learners of different ages and abilities and have been shown to boost students' performance across many criterion tasks and in multiple educational contexts. Furthermore, Pike and Rawson have proven evident in their study that self-testing improves memory, as in their conducted experiment where participants were instructed to learn a foreign language and were placed in a test restudy versus restudy practice group. The recall of information during the final test was greater after test restudy versus restudy practice, with 51% versus 34%. They also argue that practice testing is a strong effective study method, as it is beneficial in active recall, ultimately helping students retain information in a more timely and efficient manner. Additionally, when Jenner 2022 explores the difference in the effects of spaced repetition versus massing orthographic learning, which refers to the process of familiarizing and recognizing an unfamiliar printed word. The experiment involved participants to read 16 sentences out loud, which contained a pseudo word, either in a spaced or massed format. Learning was later reassessed using a variety of tests of recognition and recall, and the results revealed that the participants in the spaced format performed significantly better than those in the massed format. The spacing effect was much more apparent in the results for letter Q spelling and was weaker in orthographic choice. So, you ready to give it a go? Here are 3 practical ways to use self-testing and spaced repetition learning to give a head start on your studies and transform your well-being. First, writing flashcards. After every lecture, write 3 to 5 flashcards with key points from the content you've learned that day. Test yourself a day later, then 3 days later, then a week later. This repetitive spacing trains your brain's ability to retain the information you've previously learned. 2. Taking mini quizzes. Every evening, take 5 minutes to write down any questions that you weren't sure of the learning material that you studied that day. Try answering these questions the next morning before class, as this keeps your brain in recall mode and helps you feel more mentally prepared and capable, resulting in you feeling less stressed and more at ease. 3. Having a spaced calendar planner. You should use a calendar to plan out your study reviews. If you study a topic on Monday, schedule follow-up reviews for Thursday and then again next Monday. And color code your study sessions to track your progress across multiple courses. By spacing your learning like this reduces the pressure of last-minute cramming and improves your sleep quality, optimizing your full potential and academic performance. But did you know that testing yourself and spaced repetition learning don't just help students, they're especially useful for people from diverse backgrounds. Take non-native English speakers, for example. As previously mentioned from Pike and Wilson's foreign language experiment, spaced learning gives them more time to process and translate complex materials without feeling rushed and compromising their self-esteem. Or students with ADHD, as testing yourself breaks long study sessions into small rewarding bursts of progress, improving their focus and autonomous motivation. These self-management strategies help build self-confidence, create structure and discipline within one's study routines, and gives them a sense of control back to students, no matter what background they're from. So next time you feel overwhelmed by your exams, remember this. You don't need to study harder, you just need to study smarter. And when the time comes, try testing yourself, space out your learning, and give your brain the chance to bounce back stronger than ever, ultimately resulting in you transforming into an academic weapon. Because better memory, less stress, and more confidence, that's what well-being looks like. To follow up with my presentation, please find attached my annotated bibliography. Thank you for listening.